Hello YouTube, it's me Vdeogamer, and this is the how to draw video game character tutorial, and today I'm going to be drawing Olimar from Pikmin. Supplies you're going to need for this tutorial is a sketchbook paper, or copy paper, a sketchbook, pencil with an eraser, mechanical pencil for details, permanent markers for outlines, and colored pencils if you want to color your drawing. So, without further ado, let the drawing begin. It was a little rushed just then, but anyway. Starting off on Olimar, I first put down a sketch of just his overall pose and body, and then from there, the first thing I drew was his big, huge nose instead of the eyes like I usually do, just because that was like the main thing. His nose is just really centered on his face, and his head comes around that, and his entire head does not take up the whole helmet. Like, there's a lot of empty space in the helmet. I guess that's because of his nose. Whenever you're drawing his nose, you want to make sure you actually get it correct and just keep how large it is and don't really shorten it. Because since Olimar doesn't really have all that many facial details, it's important that whatever facial details he does have, you keep. Put the neck of the helmet, I guess. Sort of drew a bit of his body, and his eyes are just little slashes angled down for this one because I have him looking like he's angry. And his ear looks like an elf ear, kinda. And he's got 3 brown spikes of hair right on top of his head, just pointed right up. I decided to have him with his hands on his hips because he's angry, I guess. Because Rob stole one of his Pikmin, as you can see in the picture. Had a little bit of trouble with the hand, because hands are sort of a difficult thing to draw usually. Draw the outline of the helmet, like such. You gotta be careful because you don't want it to seem all jagged and stuff. You actually want it to be rounded and give it a helmet-like shape. Then on top of his helmet, he has a sort of antenna, I guess, for commanding the Pikmin. We're gonna clean up a few of these sketch lines around here and finish off the ear. Notice how the ear seems to have another shape just like the ear inside of it, just to give it a little bit more dimension. Then draw an outline around the face. His eyes are actually a bit thicker than what I made them out to be at first, so just thicken them up and then color them in with your pencil real quick. Get rid of the lines inside the hair. Outline his nose a bit more. Just tweak the helmet line a bit. Now working on the rest of the body, basically his body is just a lot littler than his head. A lot littler. That doesn't make any sense. Okay, his body seems to be somewhat smaller than his head, and his legs are sort of even smaller than that. So draw in his legs just like that. And then his shoes don't really have all that much detail, and they're somewhat flat. So I guess they'd be more like boots, wouldn't they? They're flat and small as opposed to the rest of his body, and just sort of long. He's got a buckle across them, I guess. Then I added a few clothing wrinkles. I guess it'd be spacesuit wrinkles on this. I don't know. I don't know how specific you people want to get. Are you really going to criticize me for not saying spacesuit wrinkles? I don't think you are. You better not. And on the place where the arm bends, I added some more. Don't make fun of my hand. I just messed up a little bit. Everybody messes up, okay? Don't judge me. And then for some reason, I don't have any clue why. It looks like he's wearing suspenders. You know, this character reminds me a whole bunch of Wario. And a short, little, sort of fat elf with clown shoes. And then on his chest, he has like 3 buttons, I guess, dials. Just sort of add those in. And I decided to make it look like Olimar's angry, so I added in sort of angry marks. I don't know what else to call them. They're angry marks. They're sort of anime style angry marks, I guess. And just added one on his helmet, sort of big, and then one on his head where his vein should be. And then I decided to add in some little friendly, crazy, stupid Pikmin. Sorry. I just get so sick of those things on Super Smash Bros. Brawl. I really do. And they're just looking at Olimar and Rob and just like clueless. It's like, what's going on? This one has a flower on top of its head. And the other one's going to be sitting on top of his helmet. Just with a sort of casual expression. Just sitting there, top of his helmet. Doing absolutely nothing. I don't know, maybe I'd be less harsh if I actually knew what the game was about. I don't know. I've seen some of my friends play it before, but I guess I'll just have to try it out for myself sometime, right? Right. Now we're going to outline all the lines on Olimar and the Pikmin with a fine point Sharpie, and this gives us a much cleaner drawing. Just be careful whenever you're doing this because you don't want to get a whole bunch of bad lines because you can't fix them if you mess up. Once you outline it, take your eraser and just erase all your pencil lines underneath to clean it up a whole bunch. Now we're going to color Olimar. And basically, first step is going to be to take a light shade of whatever color it may be, sort of peachish for the suit. Sorry. And for the skin color, his mouth's a little bit of red. And it might look weird at first, but what I'm doing right now is just putting down the base coat color, and this will allow me to add in shading later. The 3 hair spikes on his head are brown. Fix the skin color a bit because I'm not happy with it. Skin color is probably one of the most difficult colors to mix, especially if you don't have a lot of colors to choose from. But in the colored pencil sets with a lot of colored pencils, you have a lot more choice. Now on shading on Olimar, what I chose to do is have my lighting source up to the top left or so. That means all my shadows are going to be sort of to the bottom right. And this makes it look sort of dimensional and 3D-ish. The angry mark is red. Don't forget that. Angry equals red. And I decided to add a little bit of a blue tint to the helmet just so it wasn't pure white, because nothing's really pure white anyway. I just thought it looked good. And then on the helmet neck color thing, I decided to make it somewhat gray. Just add something to it. And then fill in the color of the suit a bit more with the darker yellow, not yellow, but peachish color, darker brown color. And just shade the same way you have been doing for the rest of him, even on the shoes. And then his gloves are red, with a little bit of black on the edges. And the bottom of his shoes are red and black. More grayish, though. I decided to color the buttons orange because that is in fact their color. Maybe. I don't know. I don't know if Olimar's appearance changes throughout any of the games or not, but it's based upon what picture you choose to draw from it. I had a picture to draw from this, of course, because I had no clue what Olimar really looked like before that. And then, sort of color in the Pikmin. You don't have to do a whole bunch of intricate shading on these guys. They're pretty simple and straightforward. I had a blue and a yellow Pikmin, and I just took a darker shade of each color and shaded with the same method I've been using for the rest of the drawing. And on the top of his antenna, he has that light glowing. I decided not to outline this just so it looked more lighted up, I guess. And just use pink and purple colors and just sort of radiate it out in a sort of circle pattern. This makes it look like there's a glowing light on top of his head. And I added a bit of shadow beneath the characters. And that's pretty much how you draw Olimar with some Pikmin. If you want to see how to draw Rob, as you see him right there in the drawing, click the top link, but if you just want to go to the end of the drawing, click the bottom link.